Hello and welcome to the February 2nd edition of NCBA's Convention Today. I'm Kevin Oxter. Thanks for joining us. We're so glad you're here with us at the 2017 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show here in Nashville. Be sure to tune in all this week for the latest convention news and events. Now, one of the highlights of convention is the introduction of the new president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Cattlemen and Cattlemen visited Nebraska to find out what life is like back home for new President Craig Uden.
As the sun rises over the Dar feedlot in central Nebraska, you'll likely find Craig Uden starting his day at the place where his passion for the beef industry took off.
I basically was born into the business. When I was a young kid, we had a small feedlot and farming operation in eastern Nebraska. I interned out in this country, and these guys had a dream to put a feed yard together. So they bought an old 1,500 head feed yard, and we started Dar feedlot back in 1982. And that was the year I interned. The next year I came out, and they said we needed somebody to run it. So for $5 an hour, I decided to take a shot at putting this thing together, and today we've got 2 locations. We feed 45,000 head of cattle, and along with that I've got a cow-calf operation, my wife, and actually my kids even have some cows here.
The early years of Craig's career were tough ones in the beef industry, but they helped to shape his management style. He's always taken a hands-on approach, and that helped him gain a foothold on the leadership ladder of the many beef industry organizations he's served.
When I was a kid, my dad was the first one to start the county organization in that county, and today that's still one of the largest county organizations in the state of Nebraska. And so I followed along with him to meetings, and I got involved in my local and was president here, and moved on up and held different positions within the Nebraska Cattlemen. And one day I was asked to join the Beef Council, and I said I would, and I did, and I never knew it would lead as in depth as it has, but I believe in giving back. But I think what's so invaluable about being a member of any organization is what you take home and how you better utilize the resources and understand make your operation better. You know, we always think when we get out of school our education's over. That's where it's just beginning. So I think you have to continue to learn, because the world changes every day, and you got to be able to change with it.
As Craig moved up the leadership ranks in Nebraska, his willingness to serve his fellow producers made him a natural fit for posts at the national level. And he quickly saw there were additional opportunities that would allow him to add to his understanding of the industry he's passionate about.
I was going to sort cattle in Colorado, and I'd just been elected to become a Beef Council member. So I stopped in and watched an operating committee. And so I interviewed for operating, and stayed around there a long time on the operating committee, moved up through the federation, and became vice chair and chairman, and wasn't sure at that time. I still had a few things to do with my home operations, but threw my hat in on the policy, because originally I was way back in policy. So moved over to the policy chairs and went up that way. So I've had both sides.
Serving in checkoff and policy leadership roles has given Craig a unique perspective on nearly every facet of NCBA and the work it does on behalf of the industry. In the year ahead, his experiences have also shaped the priorities Craig will pursue during his term as NCBA president.
We're going to stay focused on trade. Trade is a very important aspect to the beef industry. Currently, right now, we've got numbers growing. We have the highest quality, most wholesome, safe beef in the world. And all we need is access to showcase our beef, and we will have plenty of consumers. If we want to maintain and grow this herd and stay profitable and increase prices and have a vibrant industry, we have to have outlets to sell our product. And right now, that's been one of our hang-ups. We've done a lot in the export world, but we need to do more, because that's our future.
Beyond trade, maintaining a strong partnership between NCBA and state cattle organizations is a cornerstone of Craig's focus. He knows that working together is the best way to advance the entire industry, and by networking with others and sharing information, every member of the beef family benefits.
Without state and national partnerships, without the states, we have no national. We bring all these ideas and as well as challenges to the organization. Everybody gets to see what the big issues are, how we're going to solve those issues, and that's very, very important. And then when we do solve those issues, then it goes back to the country and it can be shared with all the producers. I think the beef industry is a great community. I think everybody's open and honest with each other. They don't always agree with each other, but the freedom to operate their business, but just the interaction working back and forth is very positive. I'm a gate-to-plate thinker. I think it's very important for people to understand how the industry works and how they plug in. A lot of hands touch our product, and I think the better people understand the whole of our industry, they're better prepared for the challenges that we face and some of the solutions that we find to move the industry forward.
From market prices to beef trade issues and battles over government regulation, there's no shortage of challenges for cattle producers. But by working together through NCBA, Craig believes there's a strong, positive future for his own operation and for the cattle industry overall.
I'm very bullish about the cattle industry. I know we're in a rough spot. We've been in a rough spot. We've been in before. But when we have these challenges, we always have to look for opportunities. We've got a lot of young talent coming aboard. We've got a lot of interest. We need all that talent because as the industry changes, we talk about the millennial consumer changing, but also our producers are changing. So we have to continue to evolve, and it's an ever-evolving business. Well, I think the future of the operation is bright. We're working with sons now, some of the original owners. You know, it's been a very proud moment for us to bring this up from 1,500 to the current capacity today. And I think the future is very bright for our operations as well as the entire beef industry.